Oh yeah, you gotta believe it. You're tuning into the J Blast Network. Sit back and relax, cause we're going on a ride. So tune in or tune out, because the broadcast is starting now. Hit it. The Tony Hawk franchise had established a lasting legacy with the first 4 Pro Skater games. With each game improving upon the previous title, the franchise would reach mass appeal and many players becoming skaters themselves, and even inspiring many other franchises to add skateboarding mechanics or minigames involving skateboarding. However, in 2003, as the gaming industry as a whole started to evolve with more focus on open worlds, narratives, and giving freedom to the player, so would the Tony Hawk franchise have to follow suit. Feeling that the standard formula was starting to get old and repetitive, Neversoft would want to add a change in the series that would really spice up the gameplay. This would lead to the team wanting to focus on Created Skater. Now, Created Skaters weren't anything new to the franchise, as they had been in the game since Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. However, it had never been a huge focus to the gameplay and just an additional mode to the game. However, now Created Skaters will be put at the forefront of the game's design, and a story will be created to revolve around them. This focus would put the pros to the side, as they don't even appear in the intro, not even Tony Hawk, but instead would feature some random skaters that are supposed to represent the player themselves. But it wouldn't stop there, as the entire game was reworked to accommodate the new focus. Many new creator modes were added or enhanced, and the story would be made to relate to the common skater, telling a tale of a young skater just making it in the world. A very relatable story concept that would appeal to the youth and skateboarding culture at the time. With Neversoft's new approach to the franchise being put into action, it would help usher a new era into not only the Tony Hawk franchise, but along with its contemporaries in the gaming industry as a whole. Yo, my name is Jay, and you're tuning into the J Blast Network, and I'm going to take you back to 2003 as we found out what it truly means to be pro in Tony Hawk's Underground.
Armageddon, let the light in before we say goodbye. Give us something to believe in. Armageddon, we're not begging for too much, I don't think. Need our goodbye kiss before we sing.
Although a big focus on main gameplay was its story, there were still additions added to the main formula. After adding the spawn transfer, Neversoft felt like they have added everything they could to the core gameplay and were stumped as to what they could do next. After some brainstorming, they finally came to a conclusion: let's get off the board. And so, walking became a new mechanic. Although it may seem like just another way of exploration, walking would actually be another integral addition to the combo system. When you're in the middle of a combo, you can jump off your board and walk around for a bit, giving you a bit of time to continue your combo if you missed your line. Since walking is more controllable than skating, this gives players a free save if they mess up, or lets you reach a better location to extend your combo. However, there is still a stipulation, as no matter how many times you get off your board, the walking timer only resets after your combo is finished, so the system can't be fully abused. As for walking itself, it certainly isn't something like GTA, as it can be a bit rough at times, but it's passable. The skating is the main focus here, and it still controls very well. You can also start combos from a walk, so it controls fine for its utility. Another mechanic added is the wall plant. This allows you to push off of a wall, allowing you to continue your combo if you run into one. While walking may seem more useful than the wall plant, I feel the wall plant still adds great utility for the skateboarding part of the gameplay, as it gets rid of an annoyance that came with the combo systems of the previous games. Every game up until now has been adding mechanics to enhance the gameplay, but I feel these are the last 2 mechanics missing to really perfect the combo system. With the perfect system for its core gameplay, Tony Hawk's Underground could only go up from here. This is where story mode comes in, the new replacement for the career mode. This story and the other modes in the game would all revolve around one thing: you, the player, and your story. You begin as a young skater putting together your board with scraps you have when your friend Eric shows up telling you to get ready for an upcoming competition. And this begins the start of your journey, the journey to become pro. From the jump, we are able to create our own skater, with more options than there have ever been, giving us full freedom to make who we want. This expression was needed, as it will be a part of how the player truly leaves their mark on the game. You could even scan your face in to make it look more accurate to how you look, though the results may vary. And you can also customize your deck, which is the one you were putting together in the cutscene. This also allows many options to personalize your skating. Once that's done, you are set loose in New Jersey, the dump neighborhood you live in. It may not be the most appealing, but it is home. Advancing on the level design from the previous game, Underground's levels were designed to be more like real locations rather than gamey parks, while having more stuff to trick on than the previous games. For instance, here in New Jersey you have the neighborhood, the school, and the train station. In the older games, each of these would be its own level, but here they're all placed together in such a way that it feels like they all serve a certain function while also leaving areas to skate. This design makes skating feel a bit more realistic without taking away from the arcade nature of the gameplay. As just like in real life, you have to go out and find parts to skate out of what is there, which further pushes the feel of beginning your own story. It just makes the game more relatable. But as for what you are doing in these levels, well, you free skate around until you find a mission, usually ones that revolve around what goes on in the story. You get about 4 or 5 of these in each story section, but at most you only have to do 3 of them to progress. So if you find one mission you don't like, you can always do another, and for the most part, the missions here are pretty good. You even have some where you learn tricks from the pros, which increases your knowledge of more special tricks and gives you a special trick slot. However, one notable mission that appears in all of these areas is the driving missions. While not the worst controls, they do have some issues, and this certainly isn't GTA or Need for Speeds, as the controls can feel very clunky. But besides that, the rest will revolve around skating or walking. Missions can also be difficult if you have low stats, which is where the free skate comes in, as by doing certain tasks you can increase your stat points, kind of like you're getting better at skating by skating, just like in real life. The stat increase has caps though, and these caps will go away when you get to certain points in the story. Think of it like you're slowly gaining more experience the further you go, kind of like an RPG in that respect. Back to the story itself. After a quick spar with Eric, you dominate in the local competition where Chad Muska is and impress him.
Yo, check this out. It's louder than a Metallica concert in there. I also had bulletproof siding put in and 7 screens for my DVD player. Muska, chillin'. Where? Australia?
See? That's how you hook it up. I mean, what's he done? Pop down a few rails and he's traveling the world, living like a king.
Hey, what's up, man? That was a sick line you had back there.
Whoa, Chad Muska? I'm a huge fan.
Dang, man, that's some ghetto ride you got rolling, though.
Yeah, but I'm pretty broke. I gotta make it last.
I hear you, man. Back in Vegas, I had no money, no place to stay, nothing, man, until my first shop sponsor hooked me up. So why don't you head down to your shop, check out their riders, and try to get hooked up. And yo, Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
Taking Chad's advice and seeing the goal of being pro, you get the attention of some of the local sponsors' workers by doing some of the spots and tricks they call out. All seem to be going well until the local drug dealers steal some of the shop's skate gear. So you sneak around and get the equipment back, and your buddy Eric thinks it's a good idea to give them some payback, and he burns down the dealer's house. The next day you finally get to meet with Peralta, the sponsor.
I'm looking for the owner, Mr. Peralta. Wait, are you the Stacy Peralta?
That's me. You the guy my skaters have been talking about?
Well, I hope so. I'd like to be sponsored by your shop.
Yeah, so would everybody else. I'll tell you what. Make me a sponsor me video. Show me what makes you different than Bobby B down the street, okay? And please don't hand me anything from the same old spots in New Jersey, dude, because I've seen it all.
Done. No local spots and different tricks.
Peralta wants to see some new spots. If you want to get sponsored, you're going to have to give it to him. But before that happens, your buddy Eric needs help running from the drug dealers whose house he burned down last night. While it seems like an inconvenience, you can't really blame him as those drug dealers deserve it. Hell, I would have done the same thing. However, Eric wants to lay low with his cousin in New York, which will also be a good place to get some new spots, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So after some chase shenanigans with the drug dealers and some help from the local car gang, you and Eric are able to reach the train station and escape. Now we're in Manhattan, a step up from the ghettos of New Jersey, in my favorite level in the game. Many hours were spent trying to combo the entire city. It even has some areas from the original New York level in Pro Skater 2, like the Brooklyn Banks. Here though, you need to show off your skills to the locals to show them that these Jersey boys aren't messing around. This is when we have to show off our own trick, which for the first time in the series, you can create your own. This really just allows you to combine pre-made tricks into a unique one, but you can give it your own flair and then name it. After that, you have to impress the locals by tricking over a burning car, and this is the final piece to the footage you need. Peralta sees the footage and is impressed, and agrees to sponsor you and send you down to the Tampa Am competition. After doing a few favors, of course, for his friends in the Manhattan area. All of these jobs still want you to skate while helping them, so it's like extra practice. After that, it's out to Tampa. But there's one issue.
One busted taillight. Violation. One bad bumper sticker. Big mistake, you punks.
It's not our car, man. We borrowed it. We like cops.
Aren't you white meat supposed to be out fighting real crime? Like figuring out where that missing sprinkled donut went?
Oh, that's real funny, smartass. Kiss your little roller skating contest goodbye. That is, unless your buddy here wants to do us some favors.
Besides being hassled by Officer Dick, Tampa's a nice area with some unique locations and a bit of the evergreens mixed in. This level also contains the entirety of the original Tampa level from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X. We really come a long way. But while you're sightseeing, you'll need to do some shady tasks for the cops so you can get into the competition. There's also some interesting areas in the map, including this guy with his goat behind this strip club. I hope that's not important. Anyway, after helping the cops, it's time to ditch them, in a high-speed chase leading to most of them seeking in the water. They'll teach them to hassle us. Now, it's time to shine.
Park's closed to the public.
Now check the list. Eric Sparrow, aka the guy who's gonna win Best Trick tomorrow.
AKA cocky knucklehead. Okay, you're in. Whoa, easy there, Chief. The list's all checked off.
What? You signed us both up, right?
Well, I sent mine for him in, you know.
Dude, look, I'll sign up now.
I told you, the list is full. Feel free to watch from the bleachers, though. Yo, Thomasville! What's up, street dog? You been shrouping any 10-story rails with the old magic stunt wood?
Look, yeah, I'm sorry about this, but anyway, I gotta go skate. I mean, this could be my big break. And who knows, maybe you could impress a pro or something and get in too.
Or maybe not. Thanks to Eric, you weren't signed up for the competition. But there is some good news. There are many pros around that you can impress. And look who just happens to be here.
Whoa, not bad. Where are you from?
I came all the way down from New Jersey for the Tampa Am.
Talk about a surprise attack. If you stay on your board tomorrow, you'll walk away with the contest.
I can't. It's full. I worked so hard to get a sponsorship from Stacy Peralta.
Stacy Peralta? I know that dude. He was my first sponsor too back in the 80s. Is he still into yoga? That's one weird dude, but cool as they come. Look, I can't make any guarantees, but I'll talk to the guys at the contest. Just show up tomorrow.
My man Tony Hawk finessed us in the contest, and now you must utilize this opportunity well. You start dominating the competition until it's just you and Eric, which he feared the most as he gets knocked out from our skating skills.
Good skating, man. That was insane. You gotta give me a call. I wanna hook you up with Birdhouse.
Hey, ease off. You got a ride for Flip, mate.
Hey, come in.
Would everybody just shut up for 5 seconds and let me talk to the damn kid? I gotta give it to you. That run was bullshit. No, in a good way, though. I'm gonna have to put you on Element, bottom line.
Your skill was good enough to impress some pros with big sponsors. Of course, I gotta go with my man Bam Margera. He's my favorite pro at the time. And with him, you sign on with Element, an upgrade to an amateur. This also changes the menus, which will now be themed around which company you pick. A new world has opened up for our skater, and they can only go up from here. Finally, we we can start our real career as an amateur and travel with the team to San Diego. While we come a long way, we aren't a pro yet, and thus our boss Todd gives us busy work by setting up a party. While we were doing that, we can check out some locations in San Diego. This level is one of my least favorites. Not that much sticks out, and there's a lot of empty space and sections with not that much to do. However, nothing here really demands much of you utilizing the level design. In fact, sometimes things are added to give you something to skate. After helping set up the party, the day of the first demo arrives, and there's a new guy on the team.
Come on, I want you to get the new guy hooked up.
Sup, fool?
Eric? You're on the team? But how'd you...
With no help from you. That's cool. I can see how busy you've been.
Ah, you guys know each other?
Eric seems to be remorseful about what he did in Tampa, so we're going to forgive him for now and help him and the team get ready for the demo. He showed off some tricks for the crowd and the demo was successful. And now we got more recognition and the tour continues. On the plane, we get to see some of the benefits of being a pro. When you see a teammate's designs for his own skate decks, which is another goal to look forward to when going pro. After that, the real tour starts. We're not in Jersey anymore. Locations from here on are more exotic. Traveling is another benefit of being a pro. So we're here in Hawaii. Beautiful location with a nice resort and some sweet spots to take advantage of. The team is making the film to show off for promotion and everyone needs footage to go along with it. The problem is, you don't know a good spot. Taking the advice from Peralta, it's got to be something new, something only you can do, and not Johnny from down the street.
Eric, I found it. Get up here and bring the camera.
So you finally found the spot, and it's insane. Definitely something, if pulled off right, will be remembered in the history of skateboarding. After getting Eric to set up his film, the goal was clear. You need the gap from the hotel rooftop to the building next to it. Eric, being cautious, constantly tries to get you not to jump. So to reassure him, you need to get some practice in for the big stunt. After the cops spot you training, they decide to intervene and even call in a helicopter. The stakes are extreme, and it's now or never to do this gap. And so... that was sick. You just nailed the biggest gap in the world at this point, and it was all recorded. The pros won't know what hit them when they see this. Next stop is Vancouver, home to the Slam City Jam. This is where the footage will be shown. But before that, we need to help the other teammates who haven't recorded their footage. Vancouver is my second favorite level in the game. It seems Canada just ends up with the best levels in the series. The atmosphere is great. The level has some cool lines that lead in and out of the hotel, which also has a hockey rink underneath, so that's a bonus. After screwing around with the team, we're finally able to make it to our video premiere.
Did I miss my part?
Part? You weren't even in it, but Eric's part ruled. He did the sickest rooftop gap I've ever seen. Roof to roof in Hawaii, 40 stories up.
What the? That was my trick in my spot.
That's right. This guy Eric stole our footage of the gap that we worked so hard to pull off. Before this point, most of Eric's actions can be written away as a mistake, but this time, he deliberately betrayed us, just for some clout and fame. He even managed to become pro off of your own work. Eric has some explaining to do.
You poached my shots. Where's my footage?
Oh man, I couldn't bring myself to tell you. See, there was this thing at customs.
Lying secret.
Hey, we go way back. So I'm gonna forget you just did that. Now listen, I got 3 parties to hit, but you better go rest up for the amateur contest tomorrow.
When we confront Eric, he tries to play us off and belittles us for being in the AM competition. But little does he know, we signed up for the pro competition on our own. The Slam City Jam is the only dedicated competition level, as other levels or competitions would just have a small area dedicated to it. However, that doesn't mean that this place is small. It's a pretty big level, and you can even go into the stands and skate on the scoreboard. But as for the story, it's a repeat of the Tampa Am, except a bit tougher. We need to score well in the competition so we can get to Eric. Finally, it's down to you and Eric. We need to copy his line and score higher than him so we can win the competition. That's light work when you're copying a poser. You destroy Eric's line, placing first in the competition, finally obtaining the title of pro. Our boss Todd seemed a bit upset that we snuck in, but since we won, we earned the title, leaving Eric in the dust again. Now we are in the big leagues.
It's yours.
After becoming pro, we need to establish our brand, so Todd hooks us up with a board deal which we can customize ourselves, achieving one of the goals we wanted to accomplish when we were still an amateur. We also need a shoe deal, so we search around Vancouver and find a brand that will sponsor us. After that, we can finally catch the bus to continue the tour as we reach the last new level in the story, Moscow. When searching for locations for the game, Neversoft wanted the levels down the line to feel more exotic as the player went along, at least exotic for average Americans. This makes sense for the developers to go this route because for the most part, these levels are supposed to represent cities themselves. In the previous games, you would have a level that would rep a city or country like Canada or Los Angeles, but you also had levels that were just locations, like school, zoo, or the cruise ship. However, since levels are designed to hold multiple locations, you just have a city with areas that would fit in a place like it. This same philosophy is applied to Moscow, but of course, since it's the only level in Russia, you have more stuff that will represent the country overall, like the architecture and the snow. Moscow itself, being one of the best levels in the game, really utilizes this design well, as there are so many unique locations that can be worked in the lines that can only be applied to Moscow, such as the way the buildings are and the tanks around the area. I know I have said the best level a lot, but this game is just full of them, and I'd say it even rivals Pro Skater 3 in terms of the quality in the levels, and I prefer the level philosophy that went into this game and onward compared to the originals. The unique attributes of Moscow also apply to the missions too. Really, all the levels have missions that you really only be able to do in that area, which makes them all feel unique, not just in the level aesthetic, but what's there to do as well. We see this as we continue our pro journey. As in Moscow, we start out by doing standard things, but soon we have to complete tasks that involve sneaking past guards to open the gate and help make sure that some tanks are working by, you guessed it, skating on them.
I'll figure out phase 3 of Operation He's nuts!
Our boy Bam is really jiving with the tanks, but while that's happening, Tony congratulates us on becoming a pro. But it seems we still have competition, as it was pretty close between you and Eric. Eric then shows up and apologizes for what he did and wants to make things up.
Listen, I've been thinking, we can't keep this up. Remember how I used to torch action figures with you? I acted like a dork, I'm sorry, I got carried away.
We trust him again, as maybe the second time he's turned a new leaf. Eric wants to show Moscow what Jersey has to offer, so you and him do tricks off each other to impress the local kids. Later that night, it seems we fully made up with Eric, that we can finally chill as pros and party.
Me and Vladimir here are feeling good tonight. Hey, your license good in Moscow? Old Vlad told me it was okay if we take a test spin.
Can't be serious.
Oh man, Bam's gonna be so jealous when he finds out about this.
Dude, stop it.
Oh yeah, come on to the bridge. Do a Smith grind, man. Woo!
Come on, Eric! Dude, Eric, come on, man! Open this thing! Let me out! Man, come on! Eric!
When I saw him steal the guard's keys, I knew he was up to something stupid. I tried to stop him, but he wouldn't listen.
There's $700,000 in damages you're responsible for, no?
No, absolutely not. I mean, not me. This kid doesn't even skate for us anymore. Get the check from the parents. The kid's off the team.
That bastard Eric has done it again. Whether or not leaving you in the tank was intentional doesn't matter, because he puts the whole blame on you for his mistake. Now Russia is mad at you and wants their money. Todd isn't bailing you out, so now you're off the team. Luckily, the US Embassy has decided to bail you out, but without a way home. This is where those friends we met in Moscow came in. Earlier we did some shady missions for them. Now it's time for them to return the favor. We have to do some more sketchy tasks for them, which end up being some of the worst missions in the game, all leading to having a sneak past guard to deliver a package to finally get out of Russia. We get back to Jersey, only to find our friend Eric to greet us.
Is my demo rate to 5 Gs. I need 5 in my hand or I won't skate. I don't care how many kids are waiting. Well, look who's here. I was hoping to see you. I never got to thank you for handing me Best New Pro back in Russia.
You still don't get it.
No, homie. I got it all. My own company, 6 cars in my garage, a record deal in the works. And what do you got, huh? Food stamps?
You go ahead. Keep telling yourself you're happy. But it ain't about the money.
I can't believe I'm wasting my time with this jackass. He probably skates for minimum wage. See ya.
Seems the stolen fame has gotten to Eric's head. Here he is with the same stuff that Chad Muska had in the beginning. The money, the cars, the fame. But what Eric doesn't realize is what it really took to get that and why Chad Muska skates. It's not that he didn't want money, but he didn't ride to screw someone over to get his status up. Ever since the beginning, Eric has screwed you over and made it harder for you to accomplish your goals. Remember at the start, it was his fault you had to run from the drug dealers. If he shut up when the cops were harassing you in Tampa, you wouldn't have had to work for them to bail him out. You could excuse the first 2 incidents because they seemed like accidents. The fact still remains, he was the cause of those problems. Again in Tampa, he didn't sign your name for the Tampa AmComp, making it harder for you to get in. He stole your footage in Hawaii and even got you in trouble with the country of Russia itself. From the jump, Eric knew he couldn't beat you in skill. Remember the quick spar before the comp in Jersey? You beat him there and you beat him in every competition thereafter. Instead of getting better, Eric just wanted a quick ticket to fame, following you around until he could drop you off and get ahead of you. A real piece of shit. And you gotta give it to Neversoft. They really made someone you gradually despise, and even set the groundwork for his betrayal early on. You don't really see that in sports games, even if they have a story, but here, Neversoft delivered. So the next question is, how do we get back at him? Well, talk to Peralta.
He gives me a stomach ache. I can't believe kids will look at Eric and think that's what skating is about.
Look, you got a deal if you want to make it as a pro.
Man, I just want to skate like the old days. It used to relax me, not stress me out.
That's your deal, man. Skating is whatever you make it. It didn't change. You're the one that changed. Now go skate. You'll remember why you started in the first place.
And so, we skate. And through that, we find our answer by inventing a new trick to kickstart our new goal called soul skating. This is a trick that we get to fully create as it's the beginning of our journey to be a pro in the way we want to. Not by money or fancy cars or stepping over others, but just by skating. And it seems there are people in Jersey that want to help us too. So we go talk to Peralta again.
I've got an idea. I want to do it right this time. Show the kids what skating's really about.
Now you're finally making some sense. What's the plan?
We start our own team.
I like it. Now let's find some guys who share our same philosophy.
I'm on it. I'll track down the best pros and sign them up.
Perfect. And all we need to do is find a great name for our team.
We create our team and start recruiting pros who we inspired from our previous rise to fame. Once we recruit our top 5, it's off to record footage of each pro at some legendary spots around the globe. These are some of the hardest missions in the game. You have 9 choices for a mission, but only need to do 5, each one requiring a different pro with different stats. So even if you max out your character stats, it will still be a challenge playing as pros who don't have their stats maxed out. When all is done, we make a sick video that inspires skaters across the world. Everyone knows what soul skating is and respects what it means, and we did it in our own way of being a pro. However, not everyone is happy with our results.
Jeez, man. I think we broke the piñata with that video. We can't even keep up with orders.
Oh, how cute. 2 little skaters and their ghetto shop. Heard your video went over pretty good. I guess kids dig that goofy soul skating crap. I tell you what, I'll buy you out for $500,000 right now. I got my checkbook.
I told you. It was never about the money.
Right, I forgot. Mr. Pure, I should have fixed you back in Tampa.
Tell it to your posse. We're through. I've got everything I need.
Not this. Remember? Hawaii, building jump, helicopter. That was some sick footage. Too bad no one ever saw it.
You backstabbing, mob-flipping cockroach.
Hey! What do you say? One last trip around the neighborhood. Winner takes the tape.
Eric wants one final challenge across Jersey. If you win, you get the tape. I guess he couldn't handle you getting big from your own skill rather than stepping over someone else. This is the hardest mission in the game. Hitting the parts of the line Eric does is hard enough, but he will also throw fire at you, making you bail. On top of that, you're on a strict time limit, so you cannot afford to bail often. However, that's not going to stop us from showing what soul skating really is, and Eric can't sabotage his way out of this one. Alternatively, you can just punch Eric, take the tape, and ignore his challenge if you've already beaten the game twice. While that's satisfying, I think beating him at his own game really rubs in how much of a scrub he truly is.
I'm still better than you! You got lucky, you little punk! Slam City Jam in Tampa were nothing but lucky, little bitch! Get back here! You ain't nothing! I know I can kick your ass!
And that's the story of how you became a pro. We got the full Hawaii footage back, which still looks sick as ever. with some extra bloopers from Todd. I don't think he'll want that leaking out anytime soon.
Work, that's good, that's good. Breath check, pits, sweat stains, minimal. Wipe down the mustache. Yeah. Hello, ladies! Nice legs. What time do they open?
It's hard to completely describe why the story of Underground is so great, but I think it's because of its gripping narrative and how it ties to its gameplay. It really feels as if you're getting better and have more opportunities open up as you progress, and Eric as a villain really works well and gives you good motivation in the game to prove your own work. If I were to have one issue with the story itself, I'd say it's that you don't really get to be a pro much before it's taken away. What I mean by that is I think Neversoft could have implemented the other creative modes in the story, and the last two could really benefit with this part. Of course, Creative Park returns, and like character creation has been heavily expanded with varied backgrounds, and you can even change the time of day. Also, there are more items to play with, and you can change the size of the park too. The last creator mode is Create a Goal. Here you can create goals akin to how it worked in the Pro Skater games. You can't make anything too complicated like in the story, but the base goals from the original Pro Skaters are there, like 6 score and collecting skate letters. These two features could be implemented to the story when you are a pro. Maybe before heading to Russia you get a sponsor and get to make a park for kids in your name, whether it be in Vancouver or Jersey or even Russia, as it would be a big thing there. Then creating a goal, maybe you could set up a competition in Russia or a demo and create a task that can be competed against or recorded for a new video. Imagine if you were able to set up things and then thanks to Eric, they got taken away. It would make the grudge against Eric stronger, as he took much more than sponsors. Hey, maybe you could add these to the soul skating section. You make a park in Jersey with the pros for your team and people to skate in it. This really is a small nitpick and the story is fine without it, but it would enhance it if these features were added. Even without that, Underground story is still amazing, and I prefer this over the original formula. While not having as many unlockables as the last game, Underground still offers great rewards for beating the game. The story mode has 3 difficulties, and you can unlock the characters by playing each, or just beating it on sick and unlocking them all at once. Beating it on easy gets you Iron Man, my favorite character in the game, and he is in his original red and yellow comic armor. He can shoot lasers, air boosts, and scan the area around him for his specials. Beating the story on hard unlocks Stud, an original character who is in the Neversoft logo intro of this game. He has a horror element to him as he's a monster from the sewers. He can change the screen filter to this old grainy horror filter whenever he grinds. And last, beating the story on normal unlocks Gene Simmons, the lead singer of Kiss, and he even comes with his own stage, Hotter Than Hell, the first in the series. You unlock this stage no matter what difficulty you beat the story on. And while it's cool to have a Kiss concert for an entire level, the theme of this just hurts his level design. It's too empty, most of it just being desert. You can collect the Kiss letters to see a Kiss concert video, but that's really it. As for Gene himself, he's pretty cool. His specials revolve around his tongue, which makes sense. All of the secret skaters come with unique intros and menu themes you can switch out at any time. There are also 3 secret levels you can unlock. You unlock these in some secret videos by finding certain items in certain levels. If you find a tape, you get a video. If you find a Pro Skater 2 card, you get a level from Pro Skater 2. These levels are School 2, Venice Beach, and the Hangar. I would have chosen New York over Venice, but I guess they didn't want to have 2 levels based on the same city. Having this extra content is nice, but it really emphasizes why the level design needed to be changed for the new mechanics. The older levels just do not have as much variety or options made for the new mechanics, so what was hard to get over in the original game is easy to get over here. That's just natural. These levels weren't really made for these mechanics as they came before they were implemented. Still, it's extra content, so it's a bonus in my book. We also have cheats again. These cheats can be fully unlocked by clearing every mission in the story, and they are not as crazy as 3 or 4, but they're still fun to use. Neversoft really was able to cram so much content despite switching the formula, which is a task most games do not do. There is more to the game besides the story, so it's covered on replay value. And that soundtrack, once again, it's amazing. And it has a bit more variety than before. The most iconic song of the game is Jurassic 5's Day at the Races. It plays in the intro of the game and the intro of the story, and it's a great song in general. Some of my other favorites include Armageddon by Alkaline Trio and Like an Angel by Rise Against. A lot of the songs give off a feeling of being underground, just that style of music you would hear back then, and it fits the game atmosphere very well. As I played through Tony Hawk's Underground, I began to remember why I put this as my favorite in the series. The story mode really resonates with me, and I feel it did for many others as well. This is because it's set up in such a relatable way that you start from the bottom and have dreams of reaching the top. Along the way, you meet people that will like you, people that will envy you, and even take away what you have. In life, everyone has an Eric Sparrow, a snake in the grass, someone you helped and think is with you, but will take away your umbrella and leave you in the rain and the soak. However, there's also people who will be there when that happens. And when you stay true to yourself, you begin to have others that follow you. I really love the part where you have to find the answer by skating, because you are beginning to make your own way to be a pro with your own style, hence the term soul skating. The story isn't trying to say that thinking about money or wanting fame is bad. I mean, our skater still wants the car Chad has in the beginning, but it's the way you achieve your goal. All Eric ever did was get carried by someone else, then try to step over them to get what he wanted. That's why he can never beat you in the comp or trick attack or even his own line. He never truly improved. He never wanted to get better. He just wanted the glory. But without the struggle it took to get there. But you, the player, despite all odds, each and every time, were able to come back by being yourself, which opened others to follow you, even the pros, just like Peralta said.
That's your deal, man. Skating is whatever you make it. It didn't change. You're the one that changed. Now go skate. You'll remember why you started in the first place.
It's you that decided to set out to be a pro. It's you that works to win competitions and improve your skill throughout the game. You as a player changed, but never lost what you had from the beginning. That drive you had is still there. This game will always be remembered for its great levels, extensive creative features, and a sick soundtrack. But I'll always remember it for its story and how well it meshed with its gameplay. Tony Hawk's Underground really shows what it means to be a pro, not at skating, but by expressing yourself. It shows what it means to be you. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the content here, make sure to like and subscribe, because we got more on the way. Once again, thanks for tuning in to the J Blast Network. Always remember to express yourself. And as always, you gotta believe.
This is the J Blast Network rolling out. Have peace amongst the panic.